Hello and welcome back. Last time we finished up the white color challenge
I am a
and
Johnny Goldman.
we did
I
indeed
will
play
be your
against
friend.
another player and we won. We remain unbeaten victorious. Now
I'm
there are
always a step ahead.
4 other color challenges. You can practice playing with the other colors and their styles of play. And we will do that. I'm not going to run through all 5 this time, but for this video, we are going to get into it. Now we've built your foundation, we've gone over the tools. Now it is time to strike while the iron is hot, and Sparky has challenged us to an event where they are giving us some decks to play with. What are the decks that we have to choose from? Well, there's this white-green deck, cat-themed. You can see it has a lot of cats, various abilities, Anthem, creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever another cat enters, create a 1/1 token. This is one of that exile removal. This, there's a bunch of cards. I'm not going to go over every single one, but just looking at this deck and what the cards do, I can say this deck is meant to make a lot of creatures and then make them all stronger. It's white and green. Go wide and go tall. Blue and black. Here's what I was talking about last video. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. This can kill an indestructible creature. It also can shrink something in combat, the way that other tricks grow them in combat. We have a lot of spells with flash, milling things. Stuff that milling means putting cards from your library into your graveyard, cards that benefit when there are more cards in your graveyard, get things back from the graveyard, instant speed removal spells. Okay. And then we have red green. We have some elves. These will ramp us. So, ramp is the term in Magic for things that aren't lands, but that tap for mana, or get you more lands. So, you can play one land a turn, but if I play a forest and I play this Llanowar Elf, it basically acts like a land. Still a creature, I can't tap it the turn I play it, but next turn, if I play a land, I have 3 mana to work with, 2 lands and this 1 elf. So this deck is about playing creatures that can add mana, that get bigger based on your other creatures, or just are big on their own, power 4 or greater. 4 or greater, cast creatures from the top of your library. Okay. The other thing you've noticed here is all these decks are multiple colors, and we have an easier time casting these cards. We have 24 lands, but instead of it being 12 mountains and 12 forests, we have multiple dual lands. A dual land is the name for a land that can tap for multiple colors of mana, 2 colors of mana. So this land, it's not a basic land. As you can see, it doesn't say basic land forest, it just says land. Specifically, it's a gate, that's a special type of land, but this just says land. This land enters tapped. There is a downside to the fact that it can tap for either color of mana. When it enters, you gain 1 life, that's neat. But it says tap, add red or green. Tap, add red or green. These don't say it, but you can just tap this for green, tap this for red. These add both. This enters tapped one, enters scry one, add red or green. So instead of having 12 mountains and 12 forests, or 12 red sources, 12 green sources, we have 9 of these dual lands, which means we have 16 red sources and 17 green sources. So we have the same amount of lands, 24, as if it was 12 mountains and 12 forests, but we have effectively 17 green sources and 16 red sources. So our deck will be more consistent. More often than not, we'll have the colors we need to cast the spells. If we have a Llanowar Elf, but we only have mountains, we can't play this Llanowar Elf, so it's not helpful to us. So we need to have those green sources early on. I think we will play one by one, and I think we will start with Graveyard Gifts. I think this is going to be the most interesting and the most different from what we've played with. So it's going to ask us to choose our deck. I'm going to choose Graveyard Gifts. We're going to play game 1. Once I've won a game, I'll switch decks. Put blue and black. So this is a color pair that often does involve the graveyard. It is going to ask me, do I want to keep this hand? You are going first. Your opponent is waiting for your initial mulligan choice. Mulligan. What is a mulligan? Well, Magic has this system that you get your first 7 cards randomly, and if they are bad, if you have no lands, or you have all lands, or if you have no lands of the right colors, for whatever reason, you don't like the hand you're dealt, you can mulligan. You will get a fresh 7 cards. However, you will have to pick one of those 7 cards to put on the bottom of your library, so you only get 6 to play with. I wish I had a third land. I have multiple spells that cast 3 mana. But I do have a removal spell early on. I do have 2 or 3 draws to get that third land. Half of my deck is lands. I think it's worth it to keep this hand. But it's close.
Get ready for some friendly competition.
I'm going to play the black land, so I have this stab, this instant available. Oh, perfect. I drew my land. It's a tap land, though. So I'm going to play this now. That way on turn 3, I can play my island and have 3 mana available. If I play the island now, I'll have 2 mana. But then on turn 3, I play this tapped. I might have 3 lands, but one of them's tapped. I only have 2 mana that I can access. So we play our Dismal Backwater, blue-black land. They play 2-1 with haste. This is an instant. I can do it whenever. I can do it before they declare attackers. I can do it after they declare attackers. I can do it after blockers. But I'm going to do it before damage is dealt. Okay. I'm going to play my land. I'm going to play Cura. When Cura enters, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. That attacks if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. You get to create an 8/8 blue octopus creature token. Now something is new here. This is a legendary creature. Legendary creatures are usually better than non-legendary creatures for their same cost, or they have some special effect, or they just are relative to the ongoing story thread. You can only have 1 legendary creature on the battlefield at a time. I can have 4 of these in my deck, but I can only have 1 on the battlefield at a time. Unlike this Crow, I can have 4 of these in my deck and all 4 on the battlefield at a time. I'm going to discard a land, because I only need 4 lands, and I'm going to discard this Inspiration from Beyond. Actually, I was going to discard it because it has this flashback ability, which says you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. So theoretically, you can cast this card twice, once normally, and then once from your graveyard for flashback. So I kind of get some value just putting it straight into the graveyard. But I'm thinking, if I play the Crow, I'm going to have 3 cards in my graveyard. Crow gets me to 5, Inspiration from Beyond gets me... No, I'm going to discard the Inspiration from Beyond.
Got anything good over there?
That was tricky. That was another place where strategy was relevant. They play the Hurloin Minotaur. I'm going to just kill it. I'm just going to kill it and attack with my 3/2. And this spell It says destroy target creature, create a food token. So they're creature tokens, and this is an artifact. An artifact kind of just sits on the battlefield, but it's saying at any point I can pay 2 mana, generic mana, tap it, sacrifice this token to gain 3 life. Play a land, attack, and then play my crow. It enters and will mill 2 cards. If I can get 1 more card in the graveyard, this Kyora's Threshold ability will be turned on. I can create an 8/8 Octopus token when I attack. You can see 6 out of 7. But I am not there yet. And I have no creatures in the graveyard to zombify. And this spell says if a creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So Kiora is not going to go to my graveyard. She's going to go to exile. You can see 45 cards in the library, 2 in hand, 6 in graveyard, and 1 in exile. Kiora, where I can't get at her. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. We're just going to continue with our combat. I can't cast any of my spells. Oh, and now they're going to kill the crow. I'm just going to gain my life now, because I'm not doing anything else with my mana. But I now have no creatures to attack with, and nothing in the graveyard for both of these cards that want things from the graveyard. Brineborn Cutthroat says whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. +1/+1 counter, permanent buff. And Flash means I can cast it anytime I could cast an instant. Because of that, I'm not going to cast it now. I'm going to cast it at the end of their turn. That way, they can't use any sorcery speed removal spells to kill it. They have to use instants, which they might not have. And it loses Summoning Sickness at the start of my turn anyways. So, it's the same as if I had played it during my turn, except they couldn't do any sorcerer spells. Now I have 7 mana, I can cast this Inspiration from Beyond from my graveyard. It is in my graveyard, but Arena's helpful, they pull cards out to the side. These 2 are in my hand, but it's saying, this is a card you can cast that isn't in your hand. So I'm going to cast it. And I'm going to get Bake into a Pie, the removal spell, because I value having a good removal spell. I also noticed I milled this creature, Arbiter of Woe. Oh, they killed my Brineborn Cutthroat. No matter. I have this card in the graveyard. When this creature enters, each opponent discards the card and loses 2 life, you draw a card and gain 2 life. However, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. If this card was in my hand, I could not cast it, because I don't have a creature to sacrifice. However, it's not in my hand, it's in the graveyard. And Zombify just says return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I can return it to the battlefield, I'm not casting it, so I don't need to sacrifice a creature, but it is entering.
Wow, that was wicked.
And so when it enters, enters the battlefield ability triggers. They discard a card, lose 2 life, I draw a card, gain 2 life. I'm thinking they're pretty dead. I'm going to play my Billowing Shriekmass. When this creature enters, mill 3. Threshold, this creature gets +2/+1 as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. There are 10 cards in my graveyard, so you can see what is normally a 2/3 is now a 4/4. I have 2 flyers, they have no flyers. I'm going to attack for lethal. And that is victory. We get some rewards for winning, some gold, some experience, and we also get to claim a reward from this challenge, which is we get this rare dragon, this mythic rare, Twin Flame Tyrant. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, that means creatures, but also planeswalkers, it deals double that damage instead. So this has 3 power but as long as it's on the battlefield and it deals damage, it will deal 6. It's pretty good. That went a little longer than I thought it would because I wanted to explain the different decks. So I will pick up next time. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you feel like you are being forged into a vicious implement of Magic the Gathering domination. And I'll see you next time to keep honing that ability. Thank you.